Hi all, my name is Kay. I'm going to be the instructor for the digital imaging class. Welcome to the class. I'm really glad and looking forward to meeting each one of you and getting to know you over the spring semester. So the reason that I am recording this video instead of meeting and greeting you all face to face is because I've had an urgent medical emergency come up that was unexpected, so I have to be at the hospital all day on Tuesday, which, believe me, I would much rather be in class with you all. So hopefully you've all seen my email announcement that I sent out earlier to communicate this. So hopefully none of you are in class wondering where I am. But that is the reason I am not with you on the first day of class. And I'm really sorry to miss that. Like I said, I've never missed a class before, so I really regret that, that it has to happen. But I hope to be back up and running for our Thursday class. So I will have the syllabus printed out for you and hand them out then. But I just wanted to give a brief introduction so you can kind of put a name to the face. You may see my name spelled as K-A-I and K-A-Y. Both are actually correct, but I'm just go by K, so just call me K. And I've been teaching with the Graphic Communications Management program over at Harper Hall for about 4 years, and then also have taught Intro to Graphic Design at Harper, and then started to teach digital imaging last semester. So this is my second semester to teach that, and I really love this class. I think there's a lot of creativity, a lot of flexibility, and I just look forward to being inspired by your creativity and your work. So I just want to show you this brief video clip to show you kind of who I am and how I spend my time outside of class, and then I'm going to take you through an overview of the course. Yes, going.
Wrap each other. Do one more. Yeah. These.
So as you can see, I do have a life outside of this class, as I know you all do too. And so I will try to be sensitive to that. Last semester in one of my classes, we did some personality tests. And one of the things that I have found in previous personality tests is that I am either like Barbara Bush or Bob Dylan. So as you can see from the video, I am a mother of two and I do have a nurturing side, and I am really want to be an advocate for my students and want to be here to help you and to nurture you in your growth and development. And at the heart of it, I am an artist at heart, so I do tend to come at things with a creative spirit, and I hope that you will too, and that I hope that you can have fun with that in your projects. I'm on the course page for our class, and you'll see under the announcements is where I sent out the message. So if you should receive all the emails in your App State email account, but if you want to go back and see all my messages, you can always go back to the announcement section. So I'll be communicating everything and delivering most of our classwork on this course site, so make sure you do check it. There's also a link to the print lab. You will be required to print work, and there's a link there to the print lab website with their contact information and hours. And then there's also a video brought by the print lab workers from last semester that we can take a look at later. And then there's our class blog and then last semester's blog. So if you go to last semester's blog, you can scroll through and just see examples of each project that we'll be doing in this class, and that may be helpful for you. And then the current class blog, I will be inviting each one of you as authors to this blog later this week. So I've just posted a sample post so that you can see what it looks like, and then you can view it in different ways. So I've changed it to a different format from last semester, but you will be posting all your work onto our class blog for our class critiques. And then we will be taking attendance in this class. I'm going to go ahead and go to our syllabus, which is, here is my contact information, our class time, and then my office hours, which is subject to change. If you click on the link to my weekly schedule, I will update this week to week. So you can see this week we're not meeting on Tuesday because of my medical procedure, but we will planning to meet on Thursday, and go ahead and check back on the email announcements if that changes. I won't really be holding office hours this week, but I will try to come in on Friday, and I'm just going to kind of gauge and see how I'm feeling, but that is my plan. So back to our course syllabus, which is in the introduction section here of the course page. So this is section 103 of the digital imaging class, and our course goal really is just to allow you to use digital technologies in a creative form of self-expression, so that you really have a lot of leeway here to just be creative and how you want to express in the different projects that we do. So we'll be doing 5 projects, and we'll be using primarily Adobe Photoshop, but we'll begin with Adobe Illustrator. And then I'm hoping to move a little bit into video with Adobe Premiere. Some of that will be optional, whether you want to do the video or not, but I will do some demonstrations on that so that it will be beyond just the print. So you can look over the course objectives. All the work that we do in this class is concept driven, so it's beyond just doing the steps and meeting the criteria, but I want you to be able to think conceptually and just go beyond the box, I guess, so that you can really push yourself to think conceptually and creatively and metaphorically. So you will be using a creative process as you develop your work, so you'll have plenty of time for each project to spend some time in thought-provoking process and allowing yourself opportunities to change your ideas and let them develop through the process. So we'll be talking a lot about the creative process, but at the same time we will be using the technology before us to explore and experiment. So this is your opportunity when you have studio lab time to explore and to learn the technology and to improve and develop in that. And so this is your time to do that. So that's another reason why attendance is required, so that you will kind of be forced to use that time to work on developing these skills. And then also evaluating and articulating your design process verbally, so that we will be doing that through class critiques and small group and presentations on our critique days. And so that should be, everyone should participate in that so that everybody's voice is heard. And I'm not the only one giving feedback, but your classmates and peers will also be giving feedback throughout the process. So to succeed in this class, again, come to class, come on time, have a good work ethic, do your research. You will be required to turn in your process work, including a process book. Learning through making, being open to ideas and changing, being flexible on that, talking and interacting with your peers and with myself, just putting forth the effort and asking for help when needed. So there's no textbook required. Any reading I will provide in a digital format, and I will provide some resources and tutorials that you can refer to. But a lot of that you can do on your own too, and looking up any technical tutorial help that you may need. So we'll be using the Adobe Creative Cloud, Photoshop, Illustrator, and also some InDesign. And then possibly Premiere too. I forgot to add that on there. We'll be using Macintosh computers, so that's what is available to us in the classroom. If you want to work on your own laptop, that's fine. I can't promise that I know how to work on a PC, so I'm always working on a Mac, so that's what where my familiarity is. So the supplies that you're required to have for this class is access to a digital camera, and probably your smartphone camera will be fine, but you can rent cameras from the library. You will need a thumb drive or some kind of storage device or cloud. If you want to use Google Drive, that should be fine. But you do want to back it up in two places, so if you lose your work on a jump drive, you've got it backed up somewhere else. You will need a sketchbook or process binder, and you will have to turn that in at the end of the semester with your portfolio, something to sketch with, and your portfolio needs to hold 11 by 17 prints. Money on your app card for printing on campus, and I'll show you where the print lab is. It's just down the hall, and you can check on their website to see what their pricing is. It depends on the kind of paper and the size that you print at. And then you can also purchase your supplies at the bookstore, at Art Mart, Cheap Joe's, etc. We do have deadlines in this class, so on the deadline date, you will turn in all your digital files and process work, and then we will have our class critique. So you'll present your work on our class blog, and then we'll have a class critique. And following the critique, if you wish to refine or make any revisions on your work, you have some time to do that, and then you turn in the printed work the following class date. And so you will need to be ready to present your work on the class blog at the beginning of class on the deadline date, and then the following date you'll need to have your work printed, and then we'll post them up and take a look at them again for kind of a short follow-up critique. You will need to turn in a proposal and a reflection for project 5, and then you can talked about the sketchbook or process binder, and then the portfolio. So you will need to turn in all your printed work in a neatly prepared professional portfolio at the end of the semester, and there are some requirements and what I'm looking for on that. Please do review the attendance policy. Make sure that you arrive within 15 minutes. If you're tardy, it will be counted as an absent after 3 tardies. And then 2 unexcused absences are acceptable. Any more than that, I will deduct 5 points from your final grade. So just make sure you review that. These are the projects and the grade scale. This is the schedule. So when it says workshop, usually I'll have some kind of demo, but most of the time it'll be for you to be working on your projects, and I will come around. Some days it will be instructor evaluation, some days it will be small group evaluation and analysis. So there will always be work on each day. Sometimes you have proposals that are due, and then I'll go over more week by week. But these highlight the dates when each project is due. And then our last day of class is when your portfolio and all your digital work is due. And then we won't have a final exam because you'll just have your portfolio, but our final exam day is scheduled for May the 5th at 11, and you are required to be in attendance on that day. So that will be a cleanup day class party for us, but you do need to plan to attend. I'll talk more in person about each project, but for the first project, it's going to be an Illustrator project that's black and white where you choose an appliance. So you can start thinking about an appliance or a device that you can use, and you can look at the previous semester's class block to see examples of that. And we're going to focus on fantasy. So each project we will have a technical objective as well as a conceptual kind of objective. So this first project is learning Illustrator, learning how to draw vector art in a fantasy style. So you can look at different kinds of examples, and some of the examples I've linked to on the course page are in a steampunk style, and it doesn't have to be steampunk, but that's just something to get you started thinking on. Our second project is Destroy the Icon. The third is Surrealist Photobomb, and the fourth is Personal Artifacts. So just a note on the fourth project is That is subject to change. I'm hoping to do a collaboration with Climate Stories, and so we may do that in place of personal artifacts. So I'm meeting with someone about that on Thursday, and hopefully we'll get that farmed up and I can communicate any changes to you. The last project is an open project, and then you will turn in your portfolio and process work or process binder. So let me go back to the As You Learn course page, and you can click on the sidebar here if you click on the menu to go to each project. So I would look at project 1 first and start thinking about what kind of device or instrument. Last semester I had students who chose an oven, a mixer, a telephone, like an old rotary style telephone. You can look back at the examples on that class blog. If you do type in the search, you can type in fantasy appliance and you can see some of the objects there. So you want to choose the object and then post that as part of your process work, either photos, you can shoot photos of the object. I prefer if it's something that you have access to, but if not, you can find an image online. Here's an example of, and just going through the process, this is a refrigerator, and then turning that appliance into something else, something that's placed in a fantasy world. So we'll talk about that more when we meet face to face, but I just wanted to give you a heads up to start thinking about for the first project. And then you can see that's due on the 28th. And there is a practice for drawing Bezier curves if you need some practice drawing vector graphics, which vectors are made of lines and dots and mathematical components. And the advantage of a vector drawing is you can blow it up to any size and not lose any quality. And there's some linked examples that you can read about steampunk and see some examples of fantasy artwork. So that's about it that I wanted to go over. I want to keep this brief, but just do take the time to read over the course syllabus, read over the projects that we'll be working on, and then get started on project 1 and thinking about choose your appliance, and then you can start doing research on it, find different photos of the appliance. So if you choose a refrigerator, for example, something like that, do take some different angles and perspectives of it, and then look over all your different photos of that appliance and start thinking about making relations and connections, start sketching out things, start thinking about how you can create a fantasy world for that appliance, and then do some practice with this Bezier drawing game and start exploring Adobe Illustrator and drawing some vector artwork with your appliance, and I will do a demonstration in class to get us started on that process. And I look forward to meeting you all on Thursday and look for my updates, the email announcements.